Hello there, and welcome to the Hot Metal stream of Disgaea. Yeah, sorry. Started really loud to start with. Oh. Yeah. I'm enjoying it a lot. And a lot. I have to play this for a while. So, it's got a whole world. I don't think I've very, very similar. There's just some small refinement because the part of the game is such a goddamn. It's a bit of a honestly. Let's see if yeah, what you basically can do is you go into items game and get the buffs the items have, because every item has its own tiny buff, so that's the marksman. Yes, it's no range. This is oh no. Yeah, I'm very over leveled for this. That character is, but part of the appeal of the game is this idea is that you build a squad basically. Yeah, part of the idea of these games is that you kind of build your squad so that like you start a lot, like your characters stop existing for a while and then start again at level. The fact that there's a fight going is that there's something going. I can kill this character. Sneak in. Okay, because they attacked each other. Typically, characters won't attack each other. Oh, he's on rain. Panel. Yeah, these little worlds like this are this game is full of systems. The thing that was really well is filled with little like pockets of stuff you can do, but you don't be successful at the game. Like you get super involved in it, but at the same time, absolutely you can do all this. Like you can get really involved in these tiny can like heavily invest yourself in all these systems, and this Disgaea is, I think, a game. It's more about systems than anything. Let's try that. Obviously, you can. This map is inside sphere, like it's within the sphere, and you navigate to get little bonuses and shit. It's a game. Do you ever like JRPG famously kind of grind? That makes sense. Like they're famously. JRPGs are famously very. Disgaea is a game. Just that grind bit. It's just the grindy bits. JRPGs, so it's just the systems. That sounds, I think, to a lot of people like it's going to be a bad premise for a video, but it actually works well. Because what you end up with are some incredibly well developed systems. Like right here, I could just each class has its own. Like this guy's a Ronin. His class. But if you level up a Ronin to like level 10, you have another class which is basically just them but better, like slightly better stats, directions. So what you can do then is have a better Ronin basically. You unlock so you can create a better character, but you have to start over from level 1. So either you create a brand new character, or you can reincarnate this. The energy that you use to reincarnate is based on like how many life and used it. So you can boost the stats even further, like spending more. I don't know what you get for stuff. You can boost the stats of your stat boosted guys even more. So it's this game about like rolling momentum. It's a game about that very human to push numbers up. It's not very about anything else in a way that's kind of weird. Like, it's a very unusual thing to do. It's just to focus, as purely as Disgaea does, on numbers, the embiggerance of numbers. That's all it is, really. That's... It is basically purely just about making get large. It's compulsive, and as a game it works, I think, quite well. It's always clear about what you've got to do next to get those numbers bigger. Sometimes it's not necessarily going to be fast to get those numbers, but this isn't. It's not a game with, admittedly, a great deal of respect for your time. But it is a game with a great deal of... It will reward you for putting time into it, but it does require a lot of time into it. These item dungeons, like the ones are very... Like, they're very... There's a lot to do in them, and as a result, you will start off each dungeon, like, just flooring everyone you go past, and the reason for that is if you didn't do that, you would die, because you can't leave until you've got 10 levels, and each level's randomly generated, and all the enemies are increasing power. Like, things can show up, like there's pirates can just turn up, and that's just when a wildly more powerful enemy just kind of flounces its way onto the scene, and then you've got to fight him. You can skip through these levels if they're beatable, and there's by finding that. So that's like the dimensional game. And sometimes you'll step into a world and you're desperate for a way out, like I'm gonna quit at that point, and then the dimensional gate rather just I don't know how it happened. Yeah, sorry. So what'll happen? You push through and you'll get to you'll be legs basically, and you'll open up because the levels generated. The entrance will be right next to the exit, so you can just walk out if you want. That's not like the best option all the time, but it's definitely something you can do. The game is set up to allow that kind of, and that's kind of great. And I don't know. That's so weird. Anyway, so it's got this infinite dungeon system in it, like, which is quite a modern thing. Like these infinite, randomly generated dungeons that you can just kind of go through forever, and with the roster of characters that it's kind of fun and interesting to level up. But also there's a story now, yeah, where all the levels have been like designed and all the levels are lovely set out, and there's like a trick to it. It's just pure random chaos, and there are some pretty to what can happen. This is something they've improved over Disgaea 1, where just levels would have like unreachable bits, and there's you could wasn't a lot respond to that way that felt interesting to the game. In 2, so I don't know what technical fun is, but definitely make random random systems a lot more, just a lot more understandable, a lot more sensible. It's like something that happened. Of course, all the enemies are fitted randomly, so that character sword. Each character has things than other characters. Random mode is the mode better with. Because all these characters are being randomly. Yes, because like every character I have has their. Sure, I had more. Oh no, there. Right. So what you end up with is very, like, in this mode, large, convoluted, messy dungeon, randomly equipped idiots. And that's kind of, if that was all the game, kind of bad. But as it is, this is, I think, this game was not expensive. This came out a long time. It's Endoten. And just charge fucking an obscene amount for it. Disgaea, people who make Disgaea, old, honestly, whoever it is responsible, seems to have a coherent idea about what a game came out on the PlayStation 2 first. Ronin, basically just hard close combat in just attacks, like, because they've all got no special attacks level up as well, so each individual special attack is level of with it weapon is. Some characters have special attacks that a lot of characters have special abilities rather that are unique to them, so it's weapon that you also every time you weapon powerful. So it's this huge nested system, things getting better, like everything. Every special move, that special move. Time you like enter an item and to level that item will up and gets more powerful. And if you beat the what's called death in it, then you can move those books about from an item more powerful. Go and this whole system is layered on top of itself in such a way that you end up with kind of fascinatingly complex little things. Just like where you're kind of having to, you can just go through the game and brute force it. It's like a pleasure to scaling. You can cut out grind and do things at lower levels if you're smart and you like head about how everything's going to fit together. That's just fascinating. Yeah, this is a game about. And oh, but their enemy boost +3. Enemy boost. Destroy that. I suppose I could destroy these idiots. Oh, that's Lawrence. Oh, that's my own guy. Let's see what happens. I attacked my own character there for a minute. See, at every level, B, item grants you more items. So you're never in danger of running out of stuff to do, because like after this there'll be the blade attack. She's got attacks that mean after she does an attack, she then casts a spell immediately after she turn, and that's quite useful. Like approaching your enemy from a distance, like you want to be able. This guy should. That guy. Rick can attack from diagonals. Both attack. He, of course, a glass cannon, but because of I've given him items, he's got more health than basically anyone. The most damage with standard attacks. Because this is the kind of game that this is. You can basically, like, if you want to, divvy out items in such a way that the character 700 health, and he's what the game thinks should be a glass cannon. Like, that's her ability, that's her attack she does. I think the next couple of gives her fire damage, so she automatically casts fire, like a fire spell. What's next? So, as at time. So now the next attack she does is gonna be standard attack and then a fireball. Like, and you can just keep shit up, because like the ability to, the spell that gives the next normal attack she has can level up, but also she's got an attack that she's got a spell that she can do plus magic power, and that spell can level up as well. So you end up with these like endlessly forward little systems that are just very convoluted, at the same time totally manageable. Mega heal. I'm trying to level up mega heal because I've got a very high. The spell that is heal is quite leveled up, so it does a lot of it does a lot of mega heal, which is obviously meant to be more powerful than it. It does it's like less useful because it's because it hasn't been leveled up as much, so it's not got all the extra shit. But it obviously level it up a bit, and attacking of formations as well gives you bonus damages. It's like each character goes in to do a different little animation. So this is, I think, what I've been really this game is just the fact that like it's all self, like it's this huge convoluted systems, and it's the management of the systems that is the game. Like this isn't a game about like beating monsters in silly fights. It's a game about managing increasingly complicated little systems. Yeah. Listen to magic. Yeah, it's a game about managing all the systems. The way that you like enjoying that. Whatever the game. I'm just gonna. Yeah, that means I'll have to come back and do this level again, but I get to go to the secret level. Now before. Oh, it's just a shop. Seen also AFK assassination. This and a chopper get you all white leather. It's like these are like the whole thing is like riddled with jokes and then back, and I've got to do that level again. But it's a different level because it's randomly generated. This is kind of the experience of this game. It's just you these little mental progress steps. There's a bunch of yeah, it's definitely alright, that character you have to unlock by going to kind of like this weird Congress system and petitioning powerful demons to vote in the direction of the thing that you want to do. Like, that's how you can manage a lot of the game. Is like you can the Congress system and be like, all right, I want better items in the shop, and then you have to petition these dudes and like make bribes and like focus on who's going to be useful demon for you to like owe favors to and shit like that. It's got this whole really like unnecessarily deep system that, and these systems aren't just like one place. These systems are everywhere. This whole game is this. I should have see. Right up there is a cell phone, and what you can do with a cell phone is you'll ring up one of the groups of demons, so like monsters or tree spirit, whatever. There's a bunch of them. I'm not naming. Ring up the demons on the cell phone, and that just grants you their support for whatever your next vote is. Like all of them will sign because you like lie to them and tell them, oh, let's vote. If it's the vampire getting blood, or like you can become like this. It's a game in which you become a demonic lobbyist, and like that's like a system in this JRPG about having these little fights. Like it's such a weird thing to put into a video game, and yet like it all is. It's just so bizarre to me that all these like all the stuff that this game has in it exists simultaneously with this really goofy plot about like loving your friends. Like the main plot is about it's like it's not really about anything. It's just an excuse to put you in these like quite cleverly designed little battles. But there's like it's so dumb. Like there's not like one decent plot point in it. It's just about dumb assholes making dumb jokes at each other. That's the whole thing. Like look at that's a green mage. For some reason the game decided to give a giant sword, and like I mean there's no reason not to. The only real penalty you get from characters with items that don't suit them is that they like level up slower. So like a guy who's good at swords like that guy will level up his sword skills, get more sword skill. Like there's no real system to like I don't know, giving all your mages guns and body armor and making them your fucking like. There's no. This is just it's a game where at some point someone clearly thought about how it should work, but there's no actual there's nothing actually preventing it from on it to work. No, there's no god. There's no like rules of this that you can't ignore to a extent. It's just kind of fascinating because, like, if this was just a like squad team-based fighting game, that wouldn't be that's not like bad. That's not like a bad thing for a video game to be. But it's like this character's a thief, so it can steal health, which is poisoning them. It can steal their consciousness, which is putting them to sleep, or it can steal their freedom, paralyze them. And that's just a weird collection of options. That's a weird way to phrase it. It's just a bizarrely like creative in a way. How fucking open it is to the idea of taking itself not seriously at all. And that's kind of beautiful. You will unlock new classes one of two ways. You can recruit like the enemies here, monsters like that, by just if you beat one in the recruit one or incarnate it. That'll be and right. So now, yeah, but also. somewhere. I thought, yeah, you recruit monsters, but you can also recruit by going to court and lobbying to unlock them, and that's how you do it. Like, it doesn't happen naturally. It happens. The game like decides, oh, you're ready to unlock a strange old man or a busty beauty. Like, these are the kind of things that it calls them. And the busty beauty is a magical knight. That's what you unlock when you petition busty beauty. It's this person. It's one of the most powerful goddamn classes that I've come across so far. That's just kind of how the game thinks about things. And it's so bizarre, but also kind of charming. Oh, no. Paralyze that. Fire! That I really like Neon. By the way, that's the, as I say, the better version of him, which is the samurai, which is just exactly the same as everything except slightly better stats. Like, so a samurai, same level as him, would just be better. Oh, like maybe no, maybe this is good. Now, a samurai is hit the same level as him, same like estimate of points, would just be a little bit better because it has better points to start with, like the percentage rates of increase and things. But I go in. I know. That's me. Oh. Oh, okay. So yeah, so you end up with these like bizarre systems on systems. Sorry, excuse me. Which used to say, excuse me, throat is getting as well. Throw this guy. Yeah, so start a fight with these idiots. The floaty guy there is like a strange old man, is the unlock thing that you. He doesn't get hurt by accident, like earth magic. It's genuinely kind of bizarre how much stuff, because they haven't given any, like, it's not like a plot based kind of thing. They just seem to base it around the idea, well, if you give them 1,000 ways to optimize what, you'll find a balance that works for them, and that's entirely how it works. Like, you could just focus on leveling up your guys and like checking in every now and then they've got this like equipment for them or whatever. Just that would be it. You wouldn't have to worry about properly about going into item worlds to find the item buffs and beat up the buffs so you can swap the buffs with other buffs and combine the buffs and transfer them into weapons. Because that's bizarre. It's absurd that they expect you to do it. But it's there if you want to. Like, this is what is real. What I've always found the most is that, like, I hate it. I hate it when they, like, crafting systems and these huge, complicated systems, and then they don't properly incentivize using them, or they incentivize using them by saying, well, you've got to game. Like, if you're gonna make a game about like having little fights with having your squad of men's fight another men's, you shouldn't be forced to. You shouldn't be forced to do any of the things Disgaea does. Like, and that would be a fair criticism if it made you do it, but you don't have to do any of this stuff. Like, the game is absolutely completable. You're just in it for the story. Without any of the, like, negotiate government stuff that is in it, but because you don't have to, you do it because it's a part of this game that is already quite compelling, and that's how it should be. That's how these systems work best, is when they're not forced upon you. They're just a cool thing you can do. I think that's really, like, it's not gonna win any fucking, I don't think it's gonna win any medals, honestly. It's not gonna change the world. It's not a brand new concept. What it is I just can't see that squared. It's not gonna change the fucking, but it's not meant to. Disgaea is not a brand new. What it is a very gonna. Oh, you attack me from. Right. Fine. What I like about this game, like what's really enjoyable, is that pretty much decide how invested you. There's nothing going to. You could just buy. Increases are quite small. The spear should go behind the sword. So. Schoolboy. Sorry, but the whole thing with the systems is because you don't have to do. Quite compelling. Anyway, this is me just out of a sword to some weapon buffs, so I can transfer them to a weapon that I. And so it's fun. It's just fun. There's not a whole lot more fancy reasoning as to why you do this stuff. It's cool to do this stuff. I think that's a very, like, quite a smart balance that they've got there, where they put this amount of complexity. This is the game. The game isn't the stupid plot about, like, finding out who this guy's parents are, because they're definitely someone. Oh, disability. Okay, so gradually possible, and there's not a ton that I can try that. Do is just this little guy. I have this one character who's like a Dr. Jekyll frog, in that if he has like a spell that turns him from red to blue, he's like nice and when he's prick, and that character is like everything's bullshit. Like Galleon is a character of himself. Lawrence, Neil, man, they're all named my fucking self, and because that's how you do. You create characters, and who the character is created by, like what level and they have, will have an effect. What that character is and what they're good at, and all. Like, there's just so much stuff in this game. It's kind of like there's a lot of games. This is kind of a modern thing. A lot of them seem to the opinion complexity is bad. Like Fallout 4. I really don't hate it. Like a lot of games tend to be a lot of complexity is bad. Like you shouldn't be able to get fuck up. You shouldn't be able to trap yourself in this. You shouldn't be break the. You shouldn't be able to. Or or in a way that fucks you over. And that's, like, I understand why people do that. Like, of course I understand why. Balance things for yourself. But there's a fun to figuring out how to do it and then carrying it through. And that's what it's about. Disgaea. Like, it's about the enjoyment that people get from manipulating systems in maybe they weren't designed to be. You know, like, that can be fun. It can be fun to dick about with a very complicated system. It's just clear, never meant. Breaking games is fun. Having fun is fun. It's entertaining to dick about with systems like this and make. Care of him and very it's basically just down to it's pretty much entirely down the fucking getting games to do stuff that they clearly don't want to. That's nice. Oh. Actually. Wait. 5 minutes? Okay, oh, it's B9. Yeah, I'll beat this dungeon and that'll be the video. Temper, fuck you. Alright, enemy level. Well, I mean, gain 1/10 of the levels every turn. So, you don't want, ideally, not that. Better thing. This is, this guy, character, you can be wearing a shirt with no sleeves and also a tie. His hold. Nice. Glad I killed him. God. See that? Yeah, the guy with the red hair has really good combo ability, which basically means everyone who punches him gets punched. Student. Right, so it's also a pain sometimes, because if you fight someone else with a combo build, that keeps happening. Yeah, one of those blocks will have like an enemy's act twice thing on it. The more attacks one person takes in a turn, the bigger the bonus each subsequent attack has. Yeah, it's that. So we put. Oh yeah. Now I can. Get to that exit. The enemy is very gradually getting more powerful, basically. It's the worst thing in the Can you tell that I only put 2 to distract? Still getting attacked. Yeah, he's taken some fucking. So yeah, do you hear that awkward kind of broken noise? It's a massive. Back guy. I don't get out of this room soon. I'll have a chance of me if some of these guys, just in case, because obviously the sooner I kill the level they'll die. Out of magic. I don't know why that one zombie has wind spells. I don't. These dungeons random sections, like, and you can give people different spells. Like, if you reincarnate someone into someone else, they tend to carry over some of their abilities. So if you reincarnate, example, I'm gonna instead. Line special, so I'm just beating with like in the gun. Yeah, if we he counters, I will counter. You guys got like 4 quantity, which is this is gonna get gnarly up there, isn't it? Oh, he's only got 30 health left, I think. I might be done. If that guy's done, yeah, these guys are somewhere. Oh, yep. Right, I've played this quite badly. I should have made a decision about whether to put them down. And now they are to 33. It's 20. It's quite. I'll be able to get out of this room. This is room 10. 10. Oh. Easy then. Yeah, some of these people. Ally damage. Stand. Distribute. Nope. Why do that though? Healing. He's a dick. Nice. Yeah, we are gonna get. I'm gonna get swamped here by all these dudes. But fortunately, after this match, which I No, you can, yeah, no, it's a boss, but you can also just walk. I remember because sneak one. Fine. Right over. Immediately useful. I think we've pretty much got this. Like I am quite. I think I was quite over this dungeon. But I didn't want to step into a dungeon. If you lose, you just start all over. Like the system works is basically back to the last time you saved, and you can't obviously save combat, so it's kind of frustrating in a way. So it is kind of frustrating to end up in these situations where you're like level 6 one of these dungeons. Just you may as well just level 6 and you're going stuff. You've got very little in saving this character. I don't know. I don't know. Smart. Actually. At least there's another body on the back. Still take attention. I do like this game. I keep finding it. Oh! It's a buff. Alright then. Rest of my team! Hurricane Slash is one of those, a little larger. It's actually, for all its size, it's actually one of the more sensible abilities to use, just because, like, the way that it works is that it just hits the person next to you. A lot of them hit someone like someone. Right, so. One's only shooting straight line. Tell you, so you can't shoot diagonally with a pistol. Shoot someone just directly. So that's, I think. The damage. That idiot. Alright. Idea. Yes, that was it. Yeah, these battles do actually get quite hard. This has been a vigorously one-sided one, and because these dungeons are generated, is well put together. It's like the patterns, how everything is arranged. It's a distance. Probably. I think it's just this guy. Are they concerned? And then we'll be slash. And Mr. Gency exit does let you leave. It's too. I mean, I see it's favorite tag. Just a dick. Yeah, beautiful flower man. And I realise that isn't super masculine. He literally stops you to make sure that you... So, I quite like, I like that as a... Try to assembly. Oh, you can go to, yeah, this is the court system. You can court and all. Change the item there. HP. Excuse me. Yeah. All right. So this is the kind of court Congress system. Senator. Yeah, it's like the Senate. So that's our Senator Orc. Psycho. Cell phone. Hey, I'll give him some gum. He's more likely to vote in favour of me. Yes. Either ways are basically random, and you don't want to predict how that's going to go. Back it. Okay. Just either way. Okay. I'm gonna let this vote happen. Yeah, I think I've lost this one. Yeah, okay. That's fine. You can also just beat up all the senators if you want, but they're all very powerful, so, like, I don't know when beat up every Ulster Senate is going to be a reasonable, reasonable option, excuse me. It's only 75%. So now that bow is leveled up. That bow's now much better than it was before I went into Giant World. Those were. Alright, this is the one. It's still not as powerful as the bomb, but I could transfer Marksman and Coach out. So then that's kind of how Disgaea works. Like, that is a very basic thing. You've got a whole weird plot about caverns of and this big pot, and your evil Cyclops mum are down in the river. He's so clumsy, I wonder where he gets that. Guy's tower in the middle. So that'd be your resting too. Yeah, no, part of this thing, part of the thing, have like a that means consciences. So, and for some reason, this guy isn't affected. Anyway, that's Disgaea. It's the plot is garbage nonsense. Pay attention to it. What's important is the battles are fun and interesting, and it's got way more than systems. You define which systems you care about, stick to them, or the systems of progression that you like, because you can, or some, most of the systems, as long as you pay attention to something, like leveling. Have a look. If you making better items, it's got a very betterment system. It's got all this shit. Don't really. It's kind of what's bad. Yes. Oh. Arrow, you got what? The level of interaction you have with your family in this game. That'll be me. That'll be Hollywood Medal. I'm sure that you've enjoyed it because it feeds your mind. It's a pineapple. It's a little pineapple plant. Anyway, Disgaea.